is all about creation. So let us start with creation. The road of creation begins 4.6 billion years ago with the birth of our dear planet, Mother Earth. 3 billion years ago, life appeared on Earth. And it was only 360 million years ago that life, which started in water, came on to land. Around 5 to 8 million years ago, man, as we know, came onto Earth, and it was only 200,000 years ago that Homo sapiens, of whom we belong, appeared. The story begins approximately 200,000 years ago with the appearance of Homo sapiens. And let me introduce you to the protagonist, the hero of this story of creativity and innovation, caveman number 1 and caveman number 2. Why do they look so worried? And why is one of them scratching his head? What happened? What could have happened to them that they are so worried and scared? Friends, they had just escaped being crushed under a landslide. It was a narrow escape which brought them to this place, and you see them standing here wondering how they escaped from the jaws of death. Caveman number 2 is exhorting caveman number 1 to go leave that place and go away because he doesn't want anything else to happen. But caveman number 1 seems to be lost deep in thought. He remembers seeing boulders and other, trees and jagged material rushing down the hillside in the avalanche. And one thing struck him at that time. The rounded objects were traveling much faster than the jagged objects. What did he observe? He observed that the rounded objects were traveling much faster than the jagged objects. The first mindset which showed creativity was born, the absorb mindset. After some time, caveman number 2 is able to convince caveman number 1 that it would be stupidity to continue standing there. So they start moving towards the camp. As they are moving, they see at a distance a couple of more cavemen standing on top of a cliff. Caveman number 1 immediately sees in his mind's eye what had happened that day morning. He was walking on the way with a pumpkin. The pumpkin slipped out of his hand, fell off the cliff, and shattered a million pieces. And he also remembers that these people were talking last night about birds which are flying, and they were discussing whether they can also fly. He immediately envisioned what would happen if these two people stupidly were to jump off the cliff and try to fly. The head looks very much like a pumpkin. It would go and hit the ground and be shattered into a million pieces. He runs to them, tries to explain to them that it would be foolhardy to try and jump off and flap their hands and fly, because he has seen in his mind's eye what happens when a pumpkin falls on the ground and the head is also very much like a pumpkin. The second of the brain set necessary for creation was exhibited to the world, the envision brain set, mindset. After convincing these people, he takes them and starts moving towards the camp. The 6 of them, caveman number 1, caveman number 2, and these 4 cavemen, they start walking towards the camp. They are happily going when suddenly there is thunder and lightning and there is rain. They go and take shelter under a tree. Under a big, gigantic tree, they take shelter. And what do they see? They see some distance away, there is another huge tree under which lots of animals are standing, taking shelter from the same rain. And there are lots of birds in that tree. They stand there worried whether these animals will attack us. We are not armed. We are just 6 of us. What to do? As they are worrying, there is a massive thunder and lightning which strikes that other tree, and the tree bursts into flames. They don't know what a flame is, but we know what must have happened then. It bursts into flame. There is huge light. There is a lot of warmth. And in that fire, the animals get roasted. The birds get roasted. They are seeing from here what is happening, but they can't understand because this is the first time they see fire. But they find that the warmth is very pleasant. And the smell coming out of the burning animals and birds is very appetizing because those animals and birds were what they used to eat. As they are standing there, slowly the rain stops, the fire subsides, and these people start tentatively moving towards all those roasted animals and birds. They are hungry. They go near it. They taste it. They find it is very tasty. First time man had tasted food roasted. They are very happy. Immediately, the caveman number one realizes that when the meat which they have been eating raw all these days is roasted in this new thing which has been made available to them, then it will taste very nice. He decides to take that fire along with him to the camp. He had made a beautiful connection. That food, when roasted in fire, will taste good. The third of the creative mindset had exposed itself, the connect mindset. He had connected that lightning had created that fire. The fire had roasted the animals, and the animals, when roasted, taste well. All the 6 of them had a sumptuous food, and they still find that there is a lot more of the roasted animals and birds left out. They discuss among themselves and decide, no, we are not going to leave all this good food here. We will take it with us to the camp. So they take the food and start moving through the jungle towards their camp. As they are moving, the aroma of that roasted meat starts spreading in the air. Very soon, wild animals attack them. Wild animals attack them, and 2 of them lose their life. The rest somehow escape with whatever bit of the roasted meat that they had in their hand, they escape. Our man feels extremely sad. He sits down, thinks, why did it happen, had to happen today? Today only we came across this wonderful thing which can roast animals and make it into good food for us, and this happened. Then he connects that the same way as the lightning was the cause for the fire and the fire had roasted the meat, the aroma of the meat was the reason for the animals coming. The 4th of the creative mindset had surfaced in man, the reason mindset. He feels extremely sad having lost his 2 people. The sadness keeps on increasing. He realizes that somehow I have to get out of this sad state and move on. It will not work like this. How to explain to the world that when you take roasted meat and go out into the open, wild animals will attack you? I have to tell my other tribesmen. Otherwise, they will also get into this problem. They will also lose their life. He starts drawing. And the 5th of the mindset had been shown to the world, the transformed mindset. And as he drew, there was a catharsis of his feelings. The sadness kept on reducing. As he painted that misery for posterity, his sadness kept on reducing, and he got into a highly celebrative mode, a flow, where when the second caveman comes and tells him, he tells him, okay, hum a tune, let me see whether I can play it. In this flow, the 6th of the mindset, all the things come together. He's absorbing the fact that round objects move faster than jagged objects, that lightning can cause fire, fire can be used to roast animals, roasted animals taste well, they taste good, But if you expose it to the other animals, they will attack you. If they attack you, you might not be able to escape and you will lose your life. If you lose your life, you will feel sad. And the only way to get out of sadness is to express it and share it with others so that it will all go away. All these thoughts bring him to the place where all this originated, the landslide, where he had seen round objects moving faster than jagged objects. He starts thinking, will it not be possible for me to use those round objects or those fast moving objects to transport my food from one place to another, so that, without wild animals attacking me, I will be able to reach this food to my tribe's people. He decides to see whether he can do something. He takes a stone and starts chipping it. And he comes up with this shape. He starts looking at it. After much consideration, he decides that no, this has got jagged ends. And I saw that jagged objects move slower than round objects. My dear friend, the seventh and the most important, the final brain set for creativity was born. The evaluate mindset gave rise to the wheel. Let me introduce you to the first mechanical object which was invented, the invention of the wheel. Now the question is, why is it that everything strikes only our friend caveman number one? Were all cavemen that very intelligent at that time, or is it only caveman number one who is so creative? I don't know, because there is no record of the way cavemen thought, excepting the paintings which are there in the caves. And they do not give any indication. But yes, I can definitely tell you what the situation is today. Let me see. If a person is creative and intelligent and he knows how to apply it, what will be the outcome? The outcome is visible in the fact that only 6% of the world's population, that is approximately 42 million people, have cornered 39.3% of the world's wealth. That means 39.3% of the world's money, riches, is in the hands of only 0.6 people. Another 32.3% is in the hands of 4.4% of the people. In other words, 72% of the world's wealth is in the hands of just 5% of the people, and balance 28% is in the hands of 95%. In other words, 95% of the world population is living hand to mouth, which means, translated into numbers, only 5 out of 100 are creative and know how to use their brains. Sad, isn't it? God didn't want that. He created all of us equal. Then why is it like this? Why is it that only 5% of the world population has been able to corner 72% of the world's wealth, and the balance 95% are struggling with just 28% of the money, trying to make two ends meet? Well, going back to the Stone Age, paintings tell us that children, even at that stage of evolution, were very intelligent. You can see this child here, how intelligent he looks. And we all know that there is not a single child born of which his parents are not proud. Every parent goes to the roof and shouts from the rooftop that the child is a genius. Think of the level of creativity he exhibits. A 10-month-old can make you and me dance. He wraps us around his little finger and makes us do everything that he wants. As he grows, we find him use everything in the house to imagine and create so many wonderful things. He makes rockets, he makes submarines, he does everything. But somewhere along the line, As shown in the paintings of the Stone Age, as we grow up, we become serious, depressed, worried, annoyed. We become a pain for the society and for ourselves. Here we see caveman number 2 asking caveman number 1. First you invented the wheel, now you have invented the graphic novel. Are you not going to leave anything for us? Are you not going to leave anything for others? Caveman number 1 uses his envision mindset and says, no, no, no. In the days to come, man will make bridges. Man will make musical instruments. Man will invent rockets, space travel, and man will make beautiful paintings. There is so much more yet to come. Oh, I think I got everyone worried because all these things are already done. Is it to mean that for us sitting here today during in the webinar, there is nothing to be done? No, gentlemen. The situation is not all that grim. And why it is not grim, we will see.